just got to begin to chase a dream that is bigger than you.
Hey everyone, my name is Haley, and I'm coming to you today as the health coach for Kanema Fitness. And what I want to talk to you about today is the profession of health coaching, as you can see. So, just a little bit about my background. I've been certified as an ACE certified health coach for a little over a year now, and it's been really awesome gaining the clientele and the perspective that I have. And I'm really excited to talk to you guys today about just like it says, the profession of health coaching. And what that kind of means for today is we're going to take some time to learn about the do's and don'ts of health coaching, what they do for you, what they don't do, and kind of like their scope of practice as well. So you can kind of get a better idea on what a health coach can help you with, if anything. And so let's just get started here. So a really great question, I think, to start off with is, what is a health coach? So very simply put, textbook definition, a partner in an individual's behavior change process. So notice how the partner part, it doesn't say director or boss or leader or anything like that. That would indicate that a health coach is having you come in and they tell you what to do. And that's not really how it works here. With health coaching, we are helping you along your journey of behavior change, habit setting, goal setting, things like that. And basically the big theme of health coaching, what we get told the most is that we are not in the perspective of you, the client. And so for me to have you come in and tell you what I think is best for you to go about accomplishing your goals would be a complete waste of time. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but that's why we use the definition partner. So think of like two people who are in a dance together. You often call them the other one your partner. And so when those partners don't work well together, or don't really choose to work together at all to do the dance, either the dance doesn't happen or maybe it does and it's not really that great of a dance. So I kind of think of it like that, as when it comes to being a health coach and the relationship I have with my clients along their health and wellness journey. And so I, will often throw out, these words, health and wellness, fitness, et cetera, et cetera. We throw them out a lot and they're very interchangeable. But in this definition, again, textbook definition, what is wellness? It's a state of being in good health. So notice that health is literally put in that definition of wellness. So a state of being in good health, especially as an actively pursued goal. And so with this, I always like to, when we're talking about wellness, I like to show this picture right here. This is the illness and wellness continuum. And this is something that health coaches study a lot. It's where all of our base of work comes from, is looking at this in terms of our client and where they are at. So maybe, hopefully we want our clients to be climbing towards that high level wellness over here. But oftentimes we bring clients come to us at a neutral point, or even on this left side over here, sort of where the signs and the symptoms are. And, so we go about that treatment paradigm, whatever it might be. And then from there back to that neutral point and then go to the awareness, the education, and the growth. So we're always trying to push our clients to the right over here towards that high level wellness. But this can really be useful information, or kind of a good picture to have in your head when it comes to how you establish habits, how you establish change. It's going to be the same for everyone. So nobody really knows, let's say you're at this neutral point, nobody really knows that anything is a problem until they become aware of it. So naturally, this is that first step right here. And then once they become aware that, oh, this is a problem, I might want to fix it, then they become educated on, okay, what do I need to do? How do I need to do it? Et cetera, et cetera. And that's where that growth starts happening. And again, you get closer to that high level wellness right here. And as you achieve that high level wellness, as we know with anything, health and wellness, et cetera, related, is that it's not just a one and done step. So often, for example, if you exercise one time in your life, and then you don't do it ever again after that, eventually that one time isn't really going to count for anything, because you're going to have a lot more days after that you don't exercise, and you're going to see that wellness continue to decline. And so oftentimes with things related to our health and wellness, we've always got to be climbing towards that high level wellness as we get better. An example I often like to use is thinking about, when you were a little kid and your parents would tell you that it's important to brush your teeth. Maybe you didn't want to, but they were trying to make you more aware on how to brush your teeth. So, and maybe even some education was thrown in there on, like, they need you to do it every day before you go to school. And so Eventually you kept doing that, no matter, what the habit, what started the habit or what kept it going. Now hopefully you brush your teeth every single day. Maybe as you get older you hear, oh, it's better to brush them twice a day, especially as I get older and I want to have better oral hygiene, to avoid, any diseases, illnesses, medical bills, things like that. So you start to brush twice a day, and you learn why that's important, and then again you're growing towards that. And we could keep going with this example of oral hygiene, but there can always be a new goal to set with that. So maybe it's, then it's flossing, then it's mouthwash. Okay, now what's it with this electric toothbrush? Is it going to help me have a more quality brush? But no more about the oral hygiene example. Again, we can go forever and ever with whatever wellness example you want to give me, but that's kind of how our health and wellness journey goes about, is that there's always something to get better at. And so as you continue on towards that high level wellness, you're going to backtrack as you get better, back to that awareness, the education, and the growth. And then once you achieve that, you're back to where you started, trying to reach a brand new goal, something higher, something maybe a little bit more challenging. And so that's kind of what I like to explain with this illness and wellness continuum. It's a picture I often use with either myself or my clients. And it's a great way to kind of understand where your journey is going and how you get there. And so with that, we want to talk about the dimensions of wellness. So I put this in quotes because this is often what I ask my clients is, what do you think the dimensions of wellness are? And they often tell me, oh, it's exercising, it's eating better, getting sleep. I love how it's not get more sleep, it's just getting sleep. Apparently we're not sleeping very much. But also drinking more water or no drinking alcohol. The rules can go on and on here, right? And you'll see that a lot of these involve whether how we move or how we eat or both, or sleep is kind of a little outlier there, but it still has to do towards our health. And what we often think as humans is our aspects of wellness have to do with the things that we can see, right? So we can see how often we're moving, we can feel how often we're moving, maybe we can see what we're eating, how often we're sleeping, how much water we're drinking, things like that. And it's very natural for us to come up with those visual examples of what we think wellness is. However, there's a lot more to wellness. And so there are actually 8 dimensions of wellness. And the ones that I kind of used before as client examples, those all kind of fit in towards the physical dimension of wellness, which when we go back to that, illness and wellness continuum, where we start to see on the left, more of those signs and those symptoms, things like that. Eventually, if all of these dimensions of wellness are not taken care of, we start to see physical signs and symptoms. So it's very natural for us to kind of think about the nutrition, the exercise, anything like that on the forefront, and that's really great. But oftentimes what I see in clients is that the reason they're not exercising enough or not eating well enough or anything like that is because there's often some other things going on in these other dimensions of wellness that you see here. So what are these? Let me explain them to you. We'll get to the physical is, pretty much what we all know, right? And the most common ones I deal with are, physical activity, nutrition, sleep, energy levels, stress, hydration, things like that. Those are like my top 6 that I often see clients dealing with. And again, that's like a direct result of what they can see. They see that their energy isn't high enough and they think, oh, maybe it's because of exercise, but it could also be maybe work is very stressful. So that would go down towards this occupational wellness here. So let me just go and shortly explain all of these ones in case you don't know them. The mental one is kind of interchangeable between the mental and emotional. People kind of interchange those. However, I distinguish those very separately. And so does by textbook definition. So this mental health that we always talk about as a society, which is a great thing, that often fits in that more emotional wellness category. So your thoughts and your feelings that you're having, are you able to understand and communicate those not only with yourself, but with those around you, your friends, family, coworkers, relationships, things like that. How are you able to take those emotions on and handle them is essentially the level of wellness emotionally. Mental wellness is more textbook definition, defined as intellectual stimulation. So throughout your day, your work, at the home, with your friends, family, etc., are you intellectually stimulated? Are you interested in the things that your life kind of revolves around, that you talk about, that you learn, that you discuss, things like that? That's more so that, and often that's placed in with like occupational wellness as well, where are you being intellectually stimulated or challenged at work enough, or too much? That also might be a thing to talk about. Moving on this spiritual wellness here, basically the foundation of that is why you get out of bed every morning, whatever reason that might be. Do you have a purpose? Purpose for why you live day to day. Do the things you do. And again, some people take that religiously, some people take it spiritually, or maybe a mix of both, or anything in between. But that's essentially the base foundation there of, do you have a reason that you get up and do everything that you do throughout the day? Hopefully the answer is yes. That would be a sign of good spiritual wellness. Financial is whatever, again, has to do with money, but it plays a big part in our life if you haven't noticed. And oftentimes that has to do with, again, that comes out with how we exercise, how we eat, things like that. Can we afford a gym? Can we not? Can we afford, foods, or, anything like that? It could even play beyond that as well, where someone's really tight for money, so they're working a lot of jobs and they don't have time to exercise or make those healthy meals, etc., etc. But financial wellness is all up to you. Are you able to manage your bills? Are you comfortable with how you're living? Things like that. You'll notice that, taking a quick pause here, that all these dimensions of wellness, I keep saying it's how you view it, how you feel about it, because that's the truth. I have my own personal definition of, emotional wellness, let's say, but as a health coach, it's all up to how my client feels. And so it's not about what I feel their emotional wellness, where it is or where it isn't. It's about what they feel their emotional wellness is, how well they handle it, and things like that. And that is a very pivotal pillar in client and health coaches working with clients, is giving them the ability to view their wellness as they see fit. So just wanted to pause for that little caveat. Occupational wellness, work environment, is it contributing to your overall wellness, or is it in a positive way, not a negative way? Environmental is a very common one that I get for questions, and that has to do with your surroundings at any given moment. So it's not just at work or not just in the home, although it can be, but it's more so about your surroundings even outside of that. So your neighborhood or your city, your state, country, anything like that. Some common examples I like to use is it safe to walk on the sidewalks, to get, maybe a routine daily walk in? Is it safe for you to do that in your neighborhood? Do you have a grocery store near you with lots of healthy resources, affordable prices, things like that? And some people don't, and those are some common things that we deal with for environmental wellness. And then last, but certainly not least, that social wellness. Are you fulfilled in your relationships, whether that's friendships, family relationships, significant others, things like that? Are you fulfilled in that? And yeah, are you comfortable and satisfied with that sort of area of your life? So after explaining all of those, I kind of want to move on to talking about what a health coach does and doesn't do in terms of helping you go towards uh, that wellness that we want to chase. Remember, that high level wellness, in terms of all of these dimensions. So health coaches are certified to help you with all these dimensions of wellness. However, that's when it comes to goals and habit change and behavior change and things like that. Oftentimes there are some misconceptions on what a health coach is supposed to do. And so I kind of want to start with the health coach don'ts, and then tell you the health coach do's after that. So what a health coach doesn't do, after learning all this, our wellness and what it takes to get there towards that high level wellness and keep climbing, what a health coach doesn't do. Number one, tells you how to best go about accomplishing your goals. So like I said earlier, it's not really up to me, or it doesn't really matter what I think when it comes to how best to achieve your goals. You are the one in your life, in your shoes. You have your own perspective that I could never gain no matter what I try to do. And so it is best for the health coach to direct you in your thinking of how best you think it is to accomplish the goals that you're trying to set out and do. Make meal plans for you. Health coach, this is a very common one I get a lot, and so I just wanted to put that one down here. But a health coach should never be making meal plans for you. And anyone who is not a registered dietitian should never be making meal plans for you. That is fact. That's textbook right there. And so, yeah, a health coach certainly shouldn't do that. Sometimes I have clients that come to me and they think that's something I can do, and I gently guide them towards a registered dietitian, for example. Health coaches can help you with any general questions you have, with nutrition. And with that, I mean, guide you towards some nutritionally sound resources. So for example, myplate.gov, things like that. And again, registered dietitian would be the best resource for you and the health coach. But that's a really common one I get. The next one, a health coach does not give you unprompted suggestions or thoughts on your health and wellness journey. So if you have a health coach you're working with who often says, well, I think you should do this, or I would suggest you do that based on what I've done or based on what another one of my clients has done, not cool. That is not something that they are supposed to do in their scope of practice. Often, again, it kind of goes back to that perspective that I was saying earlier. No matter how many clients have been successful in a certain way of let's say exercising, or no matter how accomplished maybe your health coach is in getting a daily exercise routine down, it doesn't matter. It's not it's not your life that is the one that they're living. And so while an exercise routine might work really well for your health coach or for maybe some other of their clients, that's great. But it is all about what works best for you. And so they should never really kind of put those suggestions or thoughts on the table for you. And yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that later. And then the last thing here that I kind of thought of as like some of the biggest few things that I feel are the most misconceptualized is acts as a stand-in therapist, doctor, etc., things like that. I think the therapist is the biggest thing I encounter is people that they're really struggling, let's say, with some hard-hitting anxiety, depression, etc., and they think a health coach might be it for them. And oftentimes, actually 100% of the time, that is not it whatsoever. Any mental illnesses that you are struggling with, that should be seen and observed by a mental health professional. Health coaches are certified to see the signs and symptoms for many different mental illnesses, disorders, medical conditions, things like that, and they are obligated to report you and refer you to those higher ups, let's say, and that's the most effective way to do it. If a client is struggling with anxiety and depression and is trying to an undiagnosed anxiety and depression and is trying to build an exercise routine, the health coach can do anything that they would like to help them with that. But if you have a very big block in emotional and mental wellness here, like undiagnosed anxiety and depression, you're not going to get very far with establishing a regular exercise routine. That's just not how it goes. And so they're not that stand-in therapist, doctor, things like that. You're always allowed, obviously, to share your thoughts and feelings on things in terms of your health and wellness journey, and that's great. But they are not that professional that maybe you might be seeking out. So going back to what a health coach does after talking about what they don't do. So the biggest part of my job is listening. I actively listen to all of my clients. Oftentimes in our sessions, they are doing most of the talking. I have an open-ended question here, thought-provoking question there, but they are the ones doing most of the talking. And from there, I'm, again, actively listening. I am designed to do that for them as their health coach, because that is what kind of guides us towards what is going to be that goal for them to accomplish. They are going to be more likely to accomplish that behavior change, that habit that they're trying to set out to do. So that's the first thing a health coach does, is they actively listen, ask thought-provoking questions to help you build a goal-setting plan for yourself. They also refer you, like I said earlier, to other professionals for different types of advice depending on your unique situation. Like I said, health coach professionals are designed and certified to see those signs, maybe symptoms of any other disorder that might be going on, and they should have the resources to refer you to such professionals depending on who it is. If your health coach is virtual, I should say, so like, let's say, for example, they're across the country, they might not have the resources to seek the professionals in your specific town, but they should be able to guide you on how to get there, if anything. A health coach also gives advice when asked by the client, and only when asked by the client. And so, and oftentimes that's not even personal advice either. That is professional advice. So when a client asks, well, how much, let's say they're working on their hydration, right? So they ask the health coach, well, how much water should I be drinking? The health coach can give that general answer, which is 8 glasses a day. You should try to be aiming for. But it should never be, well, I drink this much water a day and I feel awesome, so you should also aim for that much as well. The client is asking for factual information, and that is what the health coach should give them. Most importantly, the health coach is there to guide you through your health and wellness journey to get you to your goals in the most efficient way possible. So what I like to use is a sort of a visual exercise here. And so what I referred to the dance partner in a previous example, but another one I like to refer to is, picture you and a friend walking down this sidewalk together. who knows where you're going, you've got a destination in mind, but you're the one setting the pace, you're the one asking, answering the questions that maybe your friend is asking, as sort of, maybe you're catching up or things like that. And your friend, because they're a really great friend, they are trying to get you down that sidewalk and keep you going down that sidewalk, because you both are trying to get to a certain destination, whatever that may mean. And metaphorically, this is your health and wellness goal, again, uniquely yours. Um, and because they're such a good friend, they're not going to let you veer off into the grass, or, trip on a sidewalk crack, or, let you go out into the road because cars are there and it's really dangerous, things like that. So hopefully you're kind of understanding that metaphorical visual I just gave you. But that is essentially what the health coach is there for. They use their professional knowledge to guide you on your health and wellness journey, and to get you there, not only get you there, but get you there in the most efficient way possible, because we don't want to waste time. We want to get to that high level wellness as quickly as possible. Quickly often isn't equated with efficiently. So I should just say the most efficient way possible with that. And so oftentimes the next thing I want to talk about here is people ask me, well, how often should I see a health coach if I do want to see a health coach? And oftentimes they might think that, they're signing their life away, that they have to use a health coach forever. And that's not really been my experience, and I don't think it will be. Clients use me for any sort of frequency throughout the days, the weeks, the months. And so I put a few general examples here. The first one is short term. Clients come to me and they have a few sessions with me, and they learn about those sustainable change and habits, goal setting, things like that. And they take that information and they are on their merry way towards that high level wellness. They can do it themselves. Now they've got the knowledge and they feel confident in it and doing it themselves. And that's really great. In the long term, on the other end of the spectrum there, health coaches can be used in the long term, however frequently that might be. Maybe it's every week, every other week, once a month, once every 6 months. It just depends on your situation in life. So they're just kind of used as that continuous check-in on your wellness journey throughout like your life changes, however that might look for you. And again, people use me for a different amount of frequencies. So if someone is in maybe a little bit more of a little bit more poor health, where they really it's important that they meet with a health coach pretty regularly, I would say that's a once a week thing. I would say professionally, most of my clients have met with me every other week or even every month. And again, it's all up to them. And so going back to this, it's completely up to you how much you want to use a health coach, how much you want to utilize them. And I put the last example as intermediate, because this is also one that I see probably the most, is they use you for a check-in, or someone they know they can go to and have a few sessions with as they're navigating some sort of life change. So maybe they're moving, or they're starting a new job, starting a family, anything like that, any big life event you can think of. They often go to their health coach because they want to stay on that health and wellness track where they're going, but they want someone there to help navigate the blocks and the changes and different things like that. And so a health coach is really great for that. And again, that's not really a long-term use, that's more intermediate right there. Using the health coach when you see fit, when you want to keep yourself on track, when maybe life seems kind of rocky, things like that. And so given all of this, everything that I've talked about, hopefully I've given you a better understanding on what a health coach is, and what they can be used for. The question is always that I end with is, who is health coaching for? And my answer is summed up in these 3 points right here. And I believe that anybody who sees these 3 points, or anybody that I talk to, including myself, but if you're listening to this workshop, I'm willing to bet that at least one of these bullet points resonates with you. And so I'll just read them to you. But who is health coaching for? If you want to, A, set yourself up for real long-lasting success with your health and wellness goals. B, learn how to more effectively set goals to maintain healthy habits in the long term. And or C, completely shift your mindset and outlook on your health and wellness journey for the better, then health coaching is for you. And like I said, I'm willing to bet that at least one of these resonated with you. And so with that being said, just for some additional information, if you're looking for it, if you're listening to this workshop, if you're viewing it, odds are you are a member of one of our Kenema Fitness corporate sites. And so you have access to health coaching. That's really great news. Just like most of our training and other services, we have health coaching organized in single purchase sessions or a 6 or 12 pack. And these can go for 45 or 60-minute sessions, depending on you, entirely up to you, how long you want to have those sessions for. Hopefully my information is somewhere in the description of this workshop or anything like that. But in case it's not, contact your Kenema general manager at your site that you're a member at with questions regarding pricing, scheduling, or if you just want to talk to me, say, you know, Haley, or hey, I saw Haley on that health coaching workshop on Be Well, and I really want to get a hold of her. They will have my email and they will get that to you, and we can talk. I love answering questions. I love clearing things up. And helping clients with, you know, whatever is best for them in their health and wellness journey, whatever professional they might need to utilize. And in this post-COVID world that we are living in, fortunately, we've discovered that virtual can be a good thing. And so you do have a virtual option available. So for example, if you really want to work with me and you're listening to this and you're in California or something like that, I am not going to come to you in person. I apologize, although I would love to. I am located in Chicago. So there is a virtual option available where you can always meet with me then. And so feel free to utilize that. If you do not have an in-person resource with Kenema, feel free to utilize our virtual options. It's really great. But with that, that is all I have for you all today. And I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. And please, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, reach out to myself or again, your Kenema general manager. I'd love hearing about how helpful this was for you, or maybe not how not helpful it was for you. I'm looking for all types of feedback all the time. And so I wish you luck in your health and wellness journey. I hope this helped a little bit more to get you closer to where you want to go. And I will see you next time here. Thanks so much, everyone, for your time and attention.